Here on the Nakai Plateau in central Laos, logging trucks work around the clock to beat the wet. Early rains have made the only road close to impassable, but the trucks keep grinding back and forth because half the nation's timber comes from here. This is the logging juggernaut. Timber is the mainstay of the economy. If there are people in the forests, they have to make way. And Laos is now determined to move a staggering 20% of its population. One company has the monopoly on logging around here and on just about everything else as well. It's the Mountainous Area Development Company, known locally as BPKP. BPKP is run by the military, and its boss is the most powerful man in central Laos, General Cheng. In one of the poorest countries in Asia, General Cheng goes to work in a Soviet chopper, one of 3 at his disposal. Revolutionary hero Cheng is lord of all he surveys, one of the last great forests left in Asia. He's in charge of logging and, conveniently, is also head of the Human Resettlement Programme here, moving native people out of the forest and into the modern world. Why did the government choose a general and the armed forces to carry out this development role?
เพราะว่าในสมัยมันยุ่งยากที่สุดเนี่ยในสมัยที่ยุ่งยากที่สุดอยู่เขตนี้มันยากที่สุดก็ทหารนี่ก็
What sort of difficulties?
ความทุกข์ความยากความทุกข์ความยากของประชาชนมันบ่มีหยังหมดมันบ่มีหยังหมดเด้ต้องมาเฮ็ดเอาเองหมด
This is the town that Cheng built, Laos. The generals hacked his base out of the jungle. Logging dollars funded the roads, the schools, a market with a grand facade, even temples. The most imposing building in the heart of town is the elaborate headquarters of BPKP. And behind that is the general's private zoo.
Leo เบียกบ่ตอนค่ำบ่ก็ย่างไปเบิ่งเพราะมันเฮ็ดให้พักผ่อนหย่อนอารมณ์หน่อยนึง
General Cheng collects rare creatures from his forest realm. As he destroys their natural habitat, he saves a few specimens for life in a cage. He fails to see the contradiction, and without irony says he loves animals.
ฉะนั้นเรื่องสัตว์นี่ถ้าว่าเฮาเบิ่งนะเบิ่งรูปนึงก็คือว่าพวกเฮานี่เอาสัตว์มากักขังไว้แต่ว่าตัวจริงแล้วพวกเฮาเอามานี่เพื่อรักษาบ่ให้มันสูญพันธุ์ไปมาเลี้ยงไว้เวลาใดประชาชนได้รับการศึกษาอบรมปล่อยออกไปเขาบ่ยิงแล้วเวลานั้นก็สามารถปล่อยออกป่าได้
General Cheng is so committed to his zoo that he's invited an animal group called the Carnivore Preservation Trust to work with him in Laos. Local director Johnny Johnson has 20 species in captivity, including Pung the baby sun bear, reared by hand since she was found wandering on a highway at 1 month old.
One of the things that we're very concerned about with this program is that the animals are socialised with us.
Why do these bears need saving?
The main reason is that their habitat is being destroyed all across their range. And the second reason is that they're considered to be a delicacy by some of the Asian countries, in particular the Koreans.
Johnny Johnson wants to liberate his bears from these cages. He's struck a deal with the General for BPKP to fence off some forest for a wildlife park.
We said, look, we can give you the expertise to work with some of these animals, and we can create something that's really good for the country.
But isn't he the one and his company the ones who are destroying their habitat?
That's not really the issue as far as we're concerned. They have a job to do.
General Cheng doesn't just collect animals. He's also fascinated by the diverse cultures of the people who live in his forests. The 95 children performing here are from various ethnic groups, plucked from their poor families by General Cheng to receive an education. Some were as young as 4 when Cheng swooped down on their villages to collect them in his chopper. They haven't seen their families in 2 years.
เพื่อนก็ขี่โยนไปฮอดแล้วก็บอกกับนายบ้านว่าสิเอานักเรียนมาเรียนอยู่รักษาพี่แล้วออกโมงสิไปคนเลยก็
And how did you come here from your village? How did you get to Laksao from your village?
มาแต่บ้านน้องมาหารักษานี่ขี่หยังมา
ขี่โยน
She's fly by helicopter
And what was that like?
แล้วรู้สึกเป็นอะไรขี่ยนต์ครับ
รู้สึกตกใจ
Oh she felt frightened
Not just frightened, but confused as well. 9-year-old Noi is from the Yao people, but today she's been dressed up as a Hmong.
พวกใดพวกมานี่บ่เพราะว่าอันนี้มันก็อิงใส่ความสมัครใจนะแล้วก็ความการตกลงของพ่อของแม่เขาเจ้าเห็นว่าเขาเจ้านี่ผ่านมาอยู่นี่ได้3 ปีแล้วเขาเจ้าก็เบิกบ้านมวลซืนอยู่
The children are housed next door to the General's animals. When he has time, he looks in on their classes.
We have, you have, he, she, it, has, they have, we have, you
บางเทื่อเขา
have.
ก็ถามเขาเจ้าว่าคิดฮอดบ่พ่อแม่คิดฮอดอยู่แต่ว่าเขาก็อยากเรียนตั้งใจเรียนอยู่นี่ก็ดีได้แล้วบ่ก็กายเก่งเนาะอ่านได้บ่ฮะเพราะว่าพวกเขาก็ได้จัดตั้งมีหน่วยกีฬามีศิลปะวรรณคดีมีกองดุริยางค์จัดตั้งให้เขาให้มีบรรยากาศ
The General's grandiose schemes for the development of Laos all depend on his company's core business, logging. BPKP claims it's the guardian of the forest and its chainsaws pose no threat, even though some of these trees are hundreds of years old. It says it logs selectively to fill its quota, half the national timber cut of 600,000 cubic metres a year.
Not so high, I think 600,000, not so high. Only one factory in Malaysia. Only one factory.
This is what's being lost, the traditional lifestyle of 1/3 of the population. Forest dwellers who carve out crops from the jungle, moving their fields when the land is spent. Although they've been the owners of this land for generations, they see no part of the profits from logging. But BPKP says this traditional way of life is the very reason the people must now be moved. Their slash and burn cultivation is destroying the forest and must be stopped at any cost. People have been carrying out this practice for centuries. Why has it now become such a problem?
การน้ำมือน้ำถูกเขาก็บ่หังนะทั้งสิ่งแวดล้อมก็ถูกทำลายประชาชนก็น้ำมือถูกดังนั้นจึงมีนโยบายว่าต้องจัดสรรการทำมากินแบบใหม่นะ
Sibulapan is a village chief moved out of the forest by BPKP. He's been moved 3 times so far, but has received no land. So the only way he can feed his family is to return to the forest, slashing and burning to grow rice. But soon this forest will be closed to him and the future looks bleak. For the government's resettlement project will create hundreds of thousands more refugees like C, landless and dependent on handouts.
อันนี้นี่ก็อิงใส่ภาครัฐขันเทิงเพิ่นหาอาชีพให้แล้วก็ถือว่ามีความสะดวกถ้าว่าบ่มีอาชีพใหม่แล้วบ่มีความสะดวกได้
C lives in a BPKP model village, almost suburbia. As chief, he has the biggest house. Other families have to share, crowding into smaller homes. C also has the only television in the village, run off a car battery. It draws all the local kids. These people may not have jobs or land, but BPKP has told them that they own their display homes with easy access to water and schools. But if their presence here no longer fits the company plan, they'll find BPKP can move them again. So they own the house?
They own the house, their own house.
Not BPKP's house?
Not BPKP.
They have the piece of paper to say this is their house?
They have the right, it's their own house.
Can they sell the house if they want to move somewhere else?
Normally they cannot sell because they have to live in the house prepared by BPKP and they have to follow our instruction.
BPKP didn't resettle Siang Hong and Kong Mi. 9 years ago, they chose to leave the hard forest life for the relative ease of the valley. They brought their 10 children down from the mountains and saved enough money to buy this rice paddy.
ข้าวดีมันให้ดีมันโกงหลังดำก่อนโกงหลังให้ดีนั่นแกอันนี้เขาเจ้าบอกเขาเหนียวก็เลยนะเขาเหนียวยิ่งสื่อชีวิตการเป็นอยู่ของปัจจุบันนี้ยิ่งใส่ชีวิตทำมาหากินอยู่บ้านเก่าก็ผมคือถอดเพราะปันใดแต่ว่าพ่อเพียงแต่ว่าไปยามผียามน้องไปอยู่เยี่ยมยามแต่ว่าให้กลับมือบ้านเก่ามันบ่กลับแล้วเป็นอะไรก็อยู่ตามอยู่เนี่ยนี่แหละ
Siang Hong lives in a village on the outskirts of Laos, and although he wasn't moved by the government, he's a model for the 800,000 people it plans to resettle. But while the first families down from the forests may be better off, there simply isn't enough land for the rest of the resettled peoples to live like this. Siang Hong knows that those who follow him won't be so lucky.
คันทาเขามานี่ก็ยังเขาไปแบบค้าขายหากินกลุ่มตนเองมื้อเช้ามื้อแลงเท่านั้นแหละมาให้มีการผลิตบ่หรือแม่นว่ามันบ่มีผลผลิตแล้วดินอยู่ก็บ่อยากมีแล้ว
But isn't the problem with the overall plan to resettle people engaged in slash and burn that in fact there's not enough land available in Laos to resettle everyone?
I think we can provide enough land.
But at the moment, the best land in Laos is already being used.
Not all, I think. Enough.
Enough to resettle one-fifth of the population?
Yeah, enough. No problem.
Perhaps this is the only future for the displaced people of central Laos, working for the general. Sieng Hong's 17-year-old daughter, Can Kao, is employed in the BPKP sawmill. Can Kao occupies a low rung on the company ladder, working 6 days a week for less than $2 a day.
ได้เงินเดือนก็ได้ดีอยู่มักกับอาชีพกับเฮาได้เงินมาก็ช่วยพ่อแม่ซื้อข้าวซื้อน้ำแล้วก็ช่วยน้องช่วยนุ่มการทำการเรียนแล้วก็กุมตนเองหมู่ทุกคนก็พร้อมกับชีวิตตัวเองเนี่ย
In the brave new world of resettlement, the lucky ones will be picking up sticks for the general. The rest, perhaps the majority, will have no land and no work. In Laos, the general's children are trained to put on a good show. But he can't always be there to play proud father. Business comes first and drives every decision at Laos. The school, the zoo, the resettlement village are all shown off as models of a bright future. But their scale is small and they provide no proof that Laos can resettle 1/5 of its population in a huge experiment in social engineering.